So I thought I'd do a full audit of all the pubs and clubs in Dinnington that still exist or don't exist. Starting on Lawrence Hill Road, we're just outside the Silverdales Club, and it's called after Silverdales Road. So that's a working man's club, private one that you sign into. Now I'm guessing that this probably is just like everybody else's communities where all the pubs have gone. So let's go to the next one, the Lawrence Hotel. So we're now at the top of Lawrence Hill. This is Doe Quarry Lane. Now where you can see these new flats, this is where the Lawrence Hotel was. Now I have done a short on this before it was knocked down, and I was told the slate from the roof was used on Furbeck Hall's renovation. It's quite a funny story about this because we used to have Latin lessons in an afternoon, and it was quite fun with Bill Johnson after he'd been in the Lawrence Hotel at lunchtime. A character and a half. So let's get down to the next one. But you can see it's just flats. Now there were important meeting places, these pubs, where people could discuss things. Now it's too expensive to go in most pubs. People drink at home and then they say something they regret on social media, and the government is knocking on your door. So I'm now at the bottom of Dinnington at the Squirrel, and it's had a lot of work done on it recently, the Squirrel. It was shut down for a long time, but it's now reopened. It has a big concert hall in the back or a function room. Now it did sell Sam Smith's when I used to come in, so I never liked Sam Smith's, but it's nice to see it back open again. I think this is the only pub in Dinnington. Now I could walk down there to Monksbridge Farm pub, but to me it's not really Dinnington Monksbridge Farm because it's more geared towards the people who live in Lawton. It is next to where the colliery was, but you'd have to get in your car to go there, so I'm not going to class it as a Dinnington pub. I'm going to call that more a Lawton pub, but it's more a modern pub. So this is a Squirrel anyway, and we'll move up Dinnington High Street. So we're now at the bottom of Lawton Road coming onto Dinnington High Street, and just here where there's now flats was Bambi's Nelson's. It was more like a nightclub, more like the end of night venue. It was originally a church that was turned into a swimming pool or swimming baths, and then it became a night spot. And it's really funny because that white building at the side on the right hand side was the police station. So we all came in here underage and it never got raided. And at the time I think Rob Green was the DJ in here, local guy. And I think Human League, Sound of the Crowd, one of my favourite songs, was on at the time. So this was Bambi's Nelson. I think they also did like a Chippendales type thing for the women as well in here later days. So not my cup of tea, like, but for the women. So what is now Dinnington Resource Centre was the Institute, or the Stu for short. And when I came in here in the 1980s, we used to come in here early doors and go down to Nelson's Bambi's later. It used to look like a nightclub in here, but when the colliery closed down, this became a derelict site and got pretty much trash, which is a shame. So that's pretty much at the bottom of Dinnington High Street. So where it says Dinnington Indoor Market, this was the Comrades Club. It's recently become the Indoor Market, but the Indoor Market shut at the start of lockdown. It's becoming part of the new market development and it's going to get knocked down as far as I know. But that was once a working man's club. So just down the side of the Indoor Market, I think this was the old Wigmore's building. You've got the snooker club down here. Never been in the snooker club, I'll say yet. And you probably wouldn't even know the snooker club's here, but that's the snooker club there, just down there, where you can go for a drink. Now there's a new type of location on the high street called Roadhouse Bar and Bottles. It's not actually open at the moment, but it always looks busy. So I'm guessing you just buy a bottle or whatever in there. So that's a new way of drinking. Come to the high street in the last year or so. So we're coming up to Dinnington Main Square. We're on Barley Lane. Just here was the NatWest Bank. And I'm just going to show you somewhere else that people probably don't even know about. But this was quite a big working man's club, Barley Corn working man's club just here. It's been turned into flats. You can see the breeze blocks on the front of it. So it did temporarily become that bar, but it never took off. A bit like the bottle place on the high street, but probably selling draft as well. So it didn't last very long, but it had a big concert room in the back. And that's another working man's club gone, Barley Corn Working Man's Club. So I'm in Dinnington Square, outside St Leonard's Church, just down the side of here. On Church Lane, I'll show you the old village club. So we're just approaching the old village club, members only. Now my dad's a member here, but he can't take me in. But he can take my brother-in-law in who lives further away. So there's some sort of distance thing around here that if you're too local, you've got to be a member or you're not allowed in, which is a shame. But that's the old village club. Looking quite nice with the flower pots outside, etc. So I'm back in Dinnington Square. People may remember the bus shelter being in the middle of here. So just here, the last pub, and I don't think I missed anywhere. Let me know if I have. Was the Falcon pub. Now the Falcon pub went back a long time. Got knocked down in the 1970s. It was a Tudor building before that, and they built this modern building. It closed down quite a few years ago. It was empty for many years, and then it became the Royal Elephant. But the Royal Elephant's now closed down. I think it'd be a great time to reopen it as a pub cum restaurant place again. I think it'd do really well. But I had a friend at school, David Scott, his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Scott, who were Scottish. Actually, were landlord and landlady here. And I can remember one night doing carol singing with the Cubs, and Mrs. Scott stuck us in the bar with some alcohol-free, well, some bottles of pop. And that's how things were in those days. Things were much more friendly. So I thought that'd be an interesting video. We have got the Venus up there, but it's just more a restaurant, the Venus. Don't consider that like as a place you can just walk in and have a drink or a meal. So that's it. I thought that'd be an interesting video. I think we can all identify with this happening in our own communities, but I thought I'd show you Dinnington. I've lived in Anston for 40 years, Dinnington for 10, and Sheffield the rest of the time. So I've got close links with this community.